This is Andrew. He's going to be my participant for the sensory integration technique video. We're first going to start, I put on a fresh pair of gloves. We're going to start with the labial facilitation, and we're just going to press around the lips all the way around his pressure points. Next, I'm going to grab this frozen glycerin swab, and I'm going to take it around the apicular oris in a clockwise direction. It's going to form an oval in his mouth. I keep going around in a clockwise direction, and then I'll take it in the reverse direction and go all the way around. And I keep doing that depending on how I want his mouth to shape. Next, I'm going to retract the lips. I'm going to keep using my frozen swab. I'm going to stroke across the lips 3 times from the stronger side to the weaker side. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to follow it with short inward strokes towards the lips. And I'm going to repeat it in a circular movement around the lips, and then I'll repeat the cross swipe. Go around, cross swipe 3 times, and then I'll bring it in to an inward motion towards the lips. Okay? I'm going to grab a different frozen swab in case that one got warm. I would use this next exercise if I was trying to stimulate unilateral weakness. I'm going to glide the frozen swab completely around the lips in a clockwise direction, and I'm going to use short repeated strokes away from the affected side. So I'm going to glide it around in a clockwise direction, using short repeated strokes away from the affected side. And I will do this all the way around twice. Alright, the next one, if I'm going to increase palatal reflex triggering, I'm going to keep my frozen swab and I'm going to gently glide it across. I'm going to gently glide it across horizontally across the soft palate from the weaker to the stronger side. So if his weak side was on his left or his right here, his right. His right side, I'm going to, can you open your mouth for me? Wide, open nice and wide. I'm going to take this and I'm going to glide it across his I'm going to glide it across his soft palate from the weaker to the stronger side. I'm sorry. I know it's hard. That's right where your gag reflex is. Open that up for me. Does it feel nice and cold? Mm-hmm. So I'm right across soft palate right here, trying not to gag him. For the next one, if I was to increase palatal reflex triggering, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to move from anterior to posterior from the nasal spine. So I'm going to stimulate the weaker side, the stronger side, then the center. So I'm going to start on his right, and then I'm going to move to the left because this is his weaker side. Go ahead and open for me. This might make you gag a little. Going to right on, so I'm on the weaker side here. And then I'm going to go to the stronger side. And then I'm going to go right down his nasal spine. Right there. Thank you. Next, if I'm going to increase tongue base retraction, I'm going to grab a new frozen swab to make sure it's nice and cold. I'm going to glide the frozen swab across the bitter taste buds all the way on the back of the tongue from the weaker to the stronger side. So I'm going to press kind of firm to make sure he can really feel it, and I'm going to do it for about 1 to 3 seconds. So again, his weaker side's here. I'm going to take it and go across the bitter buds to the stronger side. Might make you gag. I see a little movement in there. So I'm going across his bitter buds all the way from the weaker to the stronger side. So I would next place my glove hand to feel the tongue base movement. I would be able to feel his tongue moving all the way to the back. Next, I'm going to take my frozen swab down the nasal spine all the way to the very tip of his uvula. If you open up there, you can see, put your tongue all the way out. You can see that his uvula is healthy. Mm-hmm. And I would take my frozen swab and move it all the way down from the nasal spine to the very tip of the uvula, and this will cause a palatal lift, and I'll do this for about 1 to 2 seconds. So I'm going all the way down, tongue out, all the way down the nasal spine here. And I'm going to follow it all the way to the tip of his uvula. Alright, this next exercise is to increase the lingual curling response. I'm going to grab my frozen swab, and Andrew, if you don't mind opening up for me, stick your tongue out. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this from posterior to anteriorly, and I'm going to go along the midline of the tongue right here. How's that feel?
Cold.
Nice. And I would do that for about 1 to 2 seconds. This next exercise is used to reduce elevation in the posterior tongue. I'm going to use long, even strokes. This one is flavored with lemon. I'm going to use a light touch. I use repetitive strokes on both sides towards the center, but I do not touch the lateral edges here. So go ahead and stick out your tongue for me. These edges right here, I do not touch with my swab. So I'm going to go 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 3 down the middle. Okay, I'll do that one more time. Go ahead and stick out your tongue. Again, it's with the lemon. 1, 1, 2, 2 on both sides, and then just once down the middle. Okay, this next exercise, I'm going to grab a new swab here real quick. This next exercise is used to elongate and elevate the tongue tip. So I will glide my swab along the lateral edges. This time I do touch the lateral edges here on the side. I'm going to go from posterior to anterior, so from back to front. I'm going to use long, even, and quick strokes, and I'm not going to touch the center of the tongue. So I will not touch this midline right in here. From the tongue tip of the brush, I'm going to brush upward with 2 strokes. Are you ready? Let's see if I can get my light. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to hit my tongue up there just like that. Okay. For this next exercise, I'm going to elevate the tongue tip. Let's see here. I'm going to do this laterally, so I'll continue to glide along the edges. Now, these strokes are going to be long and rapid. I'll do it bilaterally, and then short strokes along the tongue blade here. So fast here, and then I'm going to come down here and get the front of the tongue right just like that. And you're going to do this for about 2 to 3 seconds to really make sure that tongue is able to get elevated. The next strategy here I'm going to use to elevate the tongue tip. I'm going to stroke upward on the underside of the tongue. I'm going to use in the midline and then the right pattern using my frozen glycerin swab. I'll use about just a little tactile pressure. It won't be too hard. And just to make sure, this is from on the underside of the tongue here. So go ahead and lift your tongue up as high as you can. I'm going to start on the outsides here. And I'm going to slowly go in towards the midline, and then I'm going to end here right at the midline. I'm going to do that one more time for you. This time I'm going to go all the way around the tongue, all the way around, and then I'm going to start on the outsides and slowly make my way to the midline on the underside of the tongue. Alrighty, this last exercise is to reduce lingual deviation on protrusion. I'm going to use short, rapid strokes starting on the weaker side, remember, which is right here, and then to the stronger side. After that, I'm going to stroke diagonally across the tongue blade away from the side of deviation. So I'll be going this way. Okay? So I'm going to start with the weaker side, short, fast strokes, to the stronger side, and then away from the side of deviation on the tongue tip here. Okay, one more time. I'm going to start with the weaker side, long, fast strokes, then to the stronger side, and then away from the side of the deviation. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you, Andrew, so much. I really appreciate it.